Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Tiano here once again, and I am back for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance, or Metroid 4 to be more specifically. Well, I don't know how I usually say for this point. So yeah, last time we did somehow manage able to do a lot of backtracking here and there, and so far we've almost collected everything, except we've only got one more energy tank left, and also we've got one more missile tank left, and also we've got two power bomb tanks left. So as a result, we did somehow manage able to win back into the previous sectors that, you know, we basically somehow managed to collect most of these items in the game. So today, this will actually be going to be a grand finale of this Let's Play, because obviously about the fact that before we dive right into the final point of the game, first off, we need able to actually get the final few items in the game, just to ensure that we will able to get ourselves the 100% completion, just to ensure about the fact that, well, it's all depending on the forms of specific time-wise and all that jazz. So, anyways though, so let's go ahead and go for these specific rooms right here, just to ensure that we won't be able to be worried about too much deaths here and there, because obviously our defense is actually now bumped up. So in some cases though, the enemies, as I think I already explained about this ever since on first day, that obviously those enemies aren't that much of a threat anymore, unlike the forms of how it does in the beginning of the game, that the actual damage output when it comes to those enemies are way too high for my taste. So anyways, let's go ahead and save the game, just to ensure that obviously we won't be able to lose track of ourselves. So anyways though, so let's just go ahead and go for this exactly the same boss room as far as we've already been into since the beginning of the game almost. Although, since then we've now got ourselves the space jump, as well as the screw attack, that also means we can now able to explore for this area. So in some cases though, I'm very curious to see what this room is actually going to lead us to. Oh, wait a second, something tells me about the fact that, well, we do need, once again, the Shine Spark ability, so just to ensure that not only do we have to go for this entire rhythm when it comes to like stop and go syndrome, but also I get the feeling we need to do this twice. Like, one of them, it's pretty simple and self-explanatory. You have to make your way to the top, and then basically that way you can get yourselves a power bomb tank. But that doesn't end off here though, because there's going to be another collectible thanks to the forms of that particular circle-shaped object, as we saw on the map. Basically, we go across into the final missile tank. And obviously we need another Shine Spark ability in order to do it. But here's the catch, if you try to able to jump diagonally though, it doesn't go high enough, so it has to be more accurately like a timing syndrome. Like, if you try to able to time your jump, and then also use the Shine Spark in the process, then basically you can able to bust out those blocks, and from here, that's how essentially you're going to be doing for this point. Sometimes it might take a while to get used to with the actual technique like this, although mind you, about the fact the matter is though, is the fact that, well, usually it's always at the end game basically, so in some cases though, yeah, everything else will be pretty much accounted for. So there we go, we've got all the missile tanks right now. So in some cases though, we've got about 250 missiles. So, but we're not exactly done with this yet though, still. Probably because about the fact that we're still missing some of those other items in theory. Although, mind you about the fact that hopefully we're able to get the final power bomb tank, and on top of that, the final energy tank that we can able to definitely need to get. So, but anyway, I think that pretty much does it for this room right here. So I think we can probably able to actually head back, and yeah, everything else will be pretty much accounted for at this point, because I think I've already explained about the forms of how, you know, Metroid Fusion plays out to be. So, relatively speaking though, we're actually getting very close towards the end of the game now. So, before we move on to the forms of the next Metroid game we can probably tackle through, like Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance, because I was expecting that we can probably able to tackle through Metroid Dread for the Switch, but I think I'll probably wait on that until specifically, possibly until next year, or 2 years time, if depending on the forms of certain stimulations. So, that'll be my actual prophecy for able to actually just able to sort things out when it comes to Metroid series in mind. So, anyways, let's go through here and just shoot those specific creatures, just like before. And we'll go in here because that room might be familiar to you if you ever stumbled across SAX already. Well, usually because that section is still the hardest section in the game. Because it's pretty obvious about the fact that every time, you know, whenever you get hit by SAX, basically your health is gonna get, well, wrecked. So, anyways, let's go and explore through here just to ensure that we will able to actually get ourselves a quick access. So, just to ensure that we can able to actually double check on certain spots, so we can able to actually hit back into the docking base. But before I do any more exploration, I just need to see what's up there. It's basically the alternative way to the docking bay and all that stuff. But now we can able to actually just go ahead and continue things on for this point right here. So anyways, let's just go ahead and see what's usually happening for this point. But again, if you ever dare activate the forms in the navigation room, I'm pretty sure about the fact that you can't able to actually explore any single areas at that point. So, anyway, so remember this thing, right? Well, we can now use the power bomb, so that way we can able to actually access to, well, let's just say, the final power bomb upgrade. So in some cases though, we've now up to, oh wait a second, because I just get a strong feeling, yep, there's gonna be an invisible wall that we can able to go through. And there we go, we've got all of the power bombs in the game, but there's only one collectible left, and that is of course the energy tank. So, I'm very curious to see whereabouts is it though, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be most likely in the actual main deck itself. So, or in some cases though, the actual, well, I don't know about you, because it's been about quite a few days now since I actually last played this game. Ever since any forms have been Thursday, so yeah, forgive me if I somehow managed able to botch some things up, but I digress. So yeah, today's date is of course the 30th of May, in this case in 2023 today, and something's worth mentioning though is the fact that for those of you who lived in the UK, happy 9-year anniversary of the release of Mario Kart 8 on the Nintendo Wii U. Gee, that game has been out for 9 years. Well, specifically the Wii U version of the game, because mind you about the fact that we haven't got a brand new Mario Kart game in terms of console releases as far as I'm aware, since in technically speaking Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, despite it's only digital only, and on top of that, in terms of core Mario Kart experience, that has been like, you know, 9 years since we actually last had a release of, you know what I mean, Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. So, because the thing is though, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still doing so well for the Switch version in terms of sales numbers. But anyway, so enough about that. So I'm thinking I might able to actually just go ahead and use the power bomb quickly, and oh, this looks familiar. Screw attack right up there, and oh, it's basically a shortcut, huh? But if I recall correctly, there might be something else, like, well, I don't know, because I know for a fact it's been a very long while since we actually came in here, ever since the beginning of the game, when we first learned ourselves to able to use the, oh, there we go. So, yep, this will lead us to the final energy tank in the game, so that means we basically gathered every single item in the game. So, awesome and top-notch at the same time. So now we can able to actually find ourselves in the navigation room. So I think it won't be too far from here, I don't think. So, relatively speaking though, I'm presuming to you about the fact that, oh, those darn zombies are just managed able to try to get in my way sometimes. But, now I just need to find my way to, like, how do I get there? Oh, wait a second, I'm pretty sure this particular, sequence like these are actually blocked off. So in some cases though, I need to figure out which one is the correct path to able to actually just get to that, you know, specific progression. So, but hopefully we'll able to make our way to the navigation room before we get into the final point of the game, because you know what I mean about the fact that we're getting very close. So, alright, so yeah, this thing is blocked off, so we got able to figure out another route to take, especially concerning about the fact that I think, personally speaking though, it might be something to do with like, Well, I don't know about you, because again, it's been quite a few days since I actually last played this, but either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves to this point right now. So, anyway, oh yeah, Lincoln able to use the screw attack down there, so just to ensure we'll get quick access to going down there. So, another thing I would like to explain is the fact that we've only got about 2 more days to go until we move on to the 6th month in terms of 2023. That's of course June. So, yeah, that might be seems a little bit more legitimate. So, anywho though, so let's just go ahead and go through here and just make sure we don't get hit most of our times, and hopefully we'll find the recharge station or the recharge room so we can able to get ourselves all of the arsenal as much as possible with, you know, all these rocket missiles, or technically speaking with all the missiles and also power bombs and all the energy. So anyway, so now we've actually got to the navigation room, and it looks like that Adam the computer is going to tell us about the fact that we need to reach that specific point until before we end off the game. So as a result though, although there is technically a blind spot that I somehow accidentally ignored right here on this little map screen, but honestly I don't think we can able to necessarily worry about this for the time being, because well, since we're still on the linear progressioning right now, so as a result though, we need able to force to go whatever we want to go to, what the Adam Malkovich to somehow wants to tell us for doing so. So anywho though, so not much else to say about this honestly. I mean, surely we basically done everything throughout the game has to offer, obviously. Although I do definitely know there are some extras I can probably discuss upon things. But honestly guys, I think that's as far as I can able to try to talk about. But either way though, yeah, bravo Samus. So yeah, that might be something worth a while. So as soon as the Federation ship lands, the X will overwhelm them and absorb the knowledge and power of their occupants. The X are just waiting for the hunt to begin, and then they'll spread across the universe. Galactic civilization will end. The X hunger for form, knowledge, and power. They mimic these perfectly, but they cannot copy the soul. They're single-minded, instantly seeking to increase in number. They are plagued, and the Federation underestimates their threat. The X must not leave here. I must destroy them all before the Federation arrives. This station has a self-destruct mechanism. I must use it to destroy the X here and on the planet. I must send them to oblivion. Them, the station, and myself, if I have to. Right, so we do need able to get into this particular navigation system again. So just to ensure about the fact that we can able to get a specific clue of able to not only we can able to actually open up those hatches before we able to get into the self-destruction sequence room, but also about the fact that we can able to finally realize about the fact that, well, we can just simply just try to able to get the heck out of here before everything else gets a bit, let's just say, too chaotic at points. But either way though, that might be saying something, so. But as far as you probably already know, that whenever we get to this point right here, that if you ever dare miss the forms of one of those last few pickups with that, you know, missile expansions as well as the power bomb expansions, and especially noticeable with the health energy tank you know, items, then basically though, there is no way you can able to actually go back into those areas, because obviously it's all about, you know, the linear progressioning, as far as I think I already pointed things out throughout the majority of this Let's Play in mind. So either way though, that might be something you might able to consider this as a reminder. So yeah, there's the target destination we need to hit into. So now we can able to actually just go through here. And although you can technically go into other rooms if you decided to, but of course we've already got every single items in the game now, so we can potentially try to able to go up to this elevator. So that way we can now able to reach into the operations deck, so we can able to actually activate, of course, the self-destruct button or something like that, while the actual, well, as soon as we're able to actually approach into it, so... Looks like everything else is completely empty right now, so we can just essentially try to make our way to the top door. So I can assure you about the fact that there might be something that's up to something when it comes to, like, something tells me that we might able to come across into an ambush, aren't we? Yep, there's an ambush, because I can tell for that particular, you know, the actual shaky screen. Oh god, it's SAX! We've met again! So except the fact that we can now able to fight against with SAX, so yeah, we can essentially try to able to take the actual SAX down. So just to ensure that we can able to actually deal the amount of damage, and thanks to forms of how the fact that we fully upgraded ourselves, and on top of that we've got more health and also more missiles and power bombs essentially, so we can able to actually just to defeat her now. So although she might be still a bit aggressive at points, especially because if you remember from the likes of the forms of Sector 2, that basically does the fact that, well, obviously the actual, well, she just managed to hit me like nothing else. But if you do enough damage on her, basically she's not done yet, because she actually becomes a weird looking monster thing. So basically though, if you do a charged up beam, then basically though, you can able to actually deal the amount of damage to this beast reality looking like monster. But either way though, we can just... Actually, he's not that hard to able to fight at all. He just simply just keeps on jumping over me, and then that's it. So yep, there goes that. And sure enough, there's gonna be the actual parasite core. And I think this will actually be the last time we can able to actually fight against with this thing. Because sure enough though, we get to the very end of the game, of course. So relatively speaking though, we can just simply just do some more ice missiles we can able to shoot against with. So, and there it goes. So now we can able to get, hey, why can I obtain it? Ah, that core just somehow got away. Oh, forget it. So we'll just go ahead and activate that particular door anyway. So, okay, so it's not this door, but the door on the other thing right there is actually a thing. So operations room, and we can now activate the, well, let's just say the self-destruction button. And from here, we need to escape, and somehow we need able to get out of here. And we've only got 3 minutes left before the thing self-destructs. So... But of course, remember what I said before about the fact that if you're missing some of these collectibles, well, if you dare activate the self-destruct sequence, basically there is no way you can able to actually go back to the previous areas, because you have to specifically try to able to make your way to the linear progression. So, whilst you know how the fact that, although unfortunately though, that you can't able to actually just to activate the safe room or the recharge room, because obviously about the fact that there's no time for that. Well, I'm not exactly sure how do I explain this though, and also we can no longer activate the navigation room, so all we have to do is the fact that we need to head back into that particular, the beginning portion of the game, well, except the fact that, well, I think this is actually going to be our 3rd time experiencing that particular room to begin with, so... But anyways, let's get into here, and... Oh, what the heck? The ship is nowhere to be found. Oh wait, that shell thing looks familiar. Oh my god, what the heck is that thing? Is that supposed to be... Omega Metroid? The last time I fought you is actually a lot more taller than Samus. Okay then, now stay still. God damn! It just took off all of my energy! Ah, you gotta be kidding. Oh, SAX. I almost was thought you were gonna kill me, but you saved me, so who cares? I think that core's mine. So anyways, here's the final boss in Metroid Fusion, and that's what appears to be Omega Metroid, ever since in Metroid 2, The Return of Samus. Except that she's actually a lot easier to deal with, compared to the forms of how it does in Metroid 2. Although, the biggest strategy for this is though, and as you can tell, since we've got the core, from the likes of SAX, so that means we got ourselves a normal color suit, and on top of that, we can now able to actually access the Ice Beam, so now we can able to devastatingly use the charged up Ice Beam right at Omega Metroid, and as to be expected, we need to aim for its chest, and then if you deal enough damage on the forms of Omega Metroid, then you would do a bit okay enough, even though the actual screaming sounds a bit irritating at times, but regardless of such though, it's actually pretty easy to manage, well, assuming if you know what you're doing when it comes to likely dodging stuff, and especially noticeable, just don't get hit by the forms like claw sweeps, because otherwise, then you will get a lot of hits for that particular attack, so, and there goes the Omega Metroid, and let's hop into this purple ship as we go. And that was it. That was the forms of Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance. So, let's watch the forms of the ending of Metroid Fusion. So, yeah, it looks like this thing is just exploded. So, yeah, no wonder why this thing somehow explodes into smithereens, or anything else to be more specific. So, that perfect military mind, the wisdom of Adam Malkovich, continued to serve them after death. Until today, I had no idea that the minds of leaders and scientists were frequently uploaded to computers. My incredible reunion with Adam may have saved the universe. But will the beings of the universe view our resolve? I doubt they will understand what we did. The danger we barely evaluate. They will hold tribunals and investigations. They will hold us responsible. Adam understood this, and he spoke to me in my anger. Do not worry, one of them will understand. One of them must. I reflected upon his words, and I see the wisdom in them. We are all bound by our experiments. They are the limits of our consciousness. But in the end, the human soul will ever reach for the truth. This is what Adam taught me. Just one detail still bothers me. The ship can only be started manually, yet before I faced the Omega Metroid, the ship moved on its own, guided by someone's hands. Is it possible? Adam? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm guessing it might be seems the case, so... Lady, what's troubling you? You wonder how I started this ship? Just think about it. They lent me a hand. Oh, it's those guys. How handy of them, huh? Well, there's no doubt in my mind, because as a result though, yeah, let's get to my final thoughts of Metroid Fusion, the sequel to Super Metroid. I will say that I really enjoyed this game, although usually I enjoy Super Metroid a bit more, but the only thing about with Metroid Fusion, there are tons of things I like about it. First off, the music is so atmospheric than ever before, and on top of that, this is the best looking Game Boy Advance game you ever see in terms of the forms of the Game Boy Advance handheld. And on top of that, the sound effects are so cool and radical at the same time, because it feels very satisfying. Whenever you're trying to able to kill a creature with a missile, it sounds a lot more crunchier than ever before, especially because this is on the Game Boy Advance. And also at the same time though, is the fact that relatively speaking, I think personally, this game has the best sound direction you ever gonna be hearing. So yeah, that's basically about it. And the controls wise, plays out exactly the same as the forms of how it does it in Super Metroid, which is always a huge plus, especially how cool this gameplay it actually is. Although, it starts off a bit nerve-wracking in the beginning, but when you're able to get a lot more upgrades to your arsenal, then it should make the game a lot more easy to manage, especially because, well, You know how the fact that, well, everything else will about to try to kill you within specific hits or something like that. But one thing I do appreciate about this game though is the fact that, well, relatively speaking, you can play the game on the go, and on top of that, if you manage to actually realize that the story itself is actually very interesting, because even though it takes place, well, it's kind of hard to say really, because I know for a fact that, although I'm pretty sure I've already explained about this ever since the beginning portion of this Let's Play, so I suppose the only gripe I have with the game though is this lack of non-linearity. So as a result though, because the only thing that's cool about the Metroid series of games, at least to me anyway, is that you can able to explore certain areas whatever you want to go to. So, and of course, just like in the previous games, depending on how fast you beat the game, basically it shows us the forms of Samus as it is, and then if you manage to beat the game fast enough though, well, at the moment it shows us Samus's head, but then thankfully it actually shows us the actual image as you can see on screen. And we somehow beat the game within 3 hours and 44 minutes, so I was expecting something more, and also we've got 100% completion for its items, so see you in next mission. So speaking of the next mission, yeah, that's about it basically, so I hope you guys do enjoy this Let's Play of Metroid Fusion, because I surely do. And up next, in terms of the Metroid series of Let's Plays, as I said before, we're going to be hit on to Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance, which is basically a remake of the original Metroid. So, really excited about that, but it wasn't until whenever we get to the second half of 2023, first of all, because obviously we need to take care of other Let's Plays from now on, so yeah, I guess that's about it basically. So yeah, had a great time playing this game. You can either recommend it on the emulator or gain the Game Boy Advance original cartridge version. Sadly, you can no longer get this on the Wii U now, just because the shop is now dead. So, this is me, Tiana, from the likes of the Mexi Toys, and until then, I will see you guys in the next couple of Let's Plays. See you guys then.